I'm behind on Andrew Tate. I've been hearing his name for like weeks and I haven't actually begun to look into him until today. And by that I mean I watched one video.
Yeah.
So I'm behind on him, but it sounds like he's the latest in the Manosphere.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if this is a popular or unpopular opinion, but I don't think that he's the right person for people to throw the support behind. So he doesn't give me Jack Murphy vibes, because although Jack Murphy did some shady things that were not great, I don't think he's done things nearly as egregious as some of these other Manosphere men. And if these are the people that they're looking up to, I'm kind of like, oh, perhaps some people need better role models. Because I don't think Andrew Tate is it. I don't know if you ladies have had anything to do with the guy, but I just think there's some stuff about him that's just really shady.
Yeah, he's a total douchebag, but I don't think he deserved to be banned, because
that's how I feel.
Like,
he was
if
banned.
you think he should be banned, then are you going to start banning girls that promote their OF? Because that is toxic, trying to get young girls to do that.
What was he banned from?
It can be the same thing.
He's banned from Facebook and Instagram, I think.
Okay.
Which I know barely.
He was banned for toxic masculinity. Okay, well, what about all the girls that are trying to get girls to do that shit? That's the same thing.
What happened? The reason he was banned. So most of the time, you would be right to be like, oh yeah, believe in freedom of speech, don't ban people for their opinions, et cetera, et cetera. I think everyone here agrees with that. We ourselves don't want to be deplatformed. But in Andrew Tate's case, this is probably the first legitimate ban that I've seen. They didn't ban him for having toxic opinions or being a misogynist. They banned him for being associated with violent criminal organizations, and that was the reason they cited for the ban. He was under investigation for sex trafficking. And there was even a video I posted.
Too, Brittany. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Kidnapping?
Wow.
Well, I knew the sex trafficking thing, but I didn't think someone said that it was because of toxic, because the boys in this teacher's class or something, and she wrote, I don't know, it was like a viral thing that she did. I thought it was because of that. I get it if it's because of the trafficking thing.
So I don't think that crime is covered by freedom of speech. Like, you can't slander people, you can't say threats against people, you can't commit crime in general. Like, that's not covered by free speech, and that was the reason they banned him. So
well, then that I understand.
Or for misogyny or something like that, like having opinions or offensive jokes, I'd be like, yeah, don't deplatform. But they're deplatforming him because of his associations. Like, he's in Romania, he flies in girls to like teenage girls to pimp out on his camming site to scam men out of their money. He's openly admitted to that.
Yikes.
So everyone's over here thinking, oh, it's another person like me who's been deplatformed, but it's not. This is legitimately like a potential criminal.
Yeah, I knew they were looking into that, but then everyone kept telling me that it wasn't. It was just like a rumor, and they weren't sure. But that's why I didn't even think it was because of that, because I didn't even know that it was done being investigated, and he was like definitely doing it. So I don't keep up with him that much. He's a douche, but I thought they just banned him because he's an asshole.
That stinks, because that gives like fun, lighthearted misogynist a bad name.
Yeah. You know? Like, of course, if he does that, then obviously. I didn't even know that was like all wrapped up in like a thing that they knew for sure. I thought people were just talking shit and they didn't know.
Yeah,
so
that's
that
what I
understand.
Thought too. Yeah, that's how I feel.
Brewmaster Monk says Andrew Tate is an obvious spy.
For who?
He's just a douchebag. I mean, like, even I'm trying to find out at the moment, like, just reading these articles, like, why he actually got banned. He apparently got banned from Twitter for saying that women should bear responsibility for being sexually assaulted. Okay.
Was that one before the Instagram and Facebook one?
Yeah.
So that was before that. So they banned him for that reason. Yeah. Facebook and Instagram banned for violent crime association. And also, there was a guy who was PJW's, Paul Joseph Watson's former assistant or current assistant, I don't know. And I posted the clip in response to Mudahar, I believe. And so the guy was saying, and this guy was friends with PJW. PJW was friends with Andrew Tate, good friends. They have a bunch of content together, photos together, etc. And he was basically saying, yeah, Andrew Tate's associated with the Romanian mafia. And I would say that's a reliable source if it's someone who is close to PJW, who's friends with Andrew Tate. You could say it's BS or whatever. But, you know, we have all these other contextual things that are factors. Why do you think he went to Romania? To be an upstanding citizen? Absolutely not. And you know, when you pair it with all the other things he does, flying in teenage girls to pimp them and scam men, like he was under investigation or is under investigation for sex trafficking and all this sort of stuff. And in addition to that, people are saying, really quickly, just one last point. People are saying that.
No, I like that you have so much background on this because I'm like behind.
Oh yeah, I've done a lot of research, and so they're saying like, oh, you know, he got deplatformed, that sucks, right? And he claims to be pro free speech. I have the clip somewhere around here, but he claims to be pro free speech and like why deplatforming is bad. He said it on TikToks, things like that. But then he goes and co-hosts with Fresh and Fit a podcast that has copy striked a YouTuber for fair use. Like they use his content fair use. They copy striked him and then proceeded to do the thing that they accused him of doing and stole content. So he's really not pro free speech. Why has he not called them out? He co-hosts with these people. So is he really pro free speech? Are we really going to sit here and defend him when it was for allegedly committing crime? And also he's not even actually pro free speech. He doesn't call it out. He's friends with these people, like goes on their show all the time.
Damn, I know. And there's this clip flying around the internet of like him, I guess, beating a woman. And I also was like reading like, oh, that's an old clip. I'm like, if it's still him beating a lady, like it doesn't matter if it's old.
Yeah.
Like, that still sucks.
I have a link for you actually in regard to that. I have a link
that's
for
at
you.
least 5 years old.
Yeah, here's a new one. Yeah.
Well, actually, I do have like a so one from 2018. I just linked in the private chat.
Let me see this.
Crabman had made a thread. He always makes really good informative threads.
Ooh.
He made a thread about the porn star that got beat with a belt allegedly by Andrew Tate, and she posts like photos of it.
Jeepers. I think I can show this.
Wow.
All right, it's just bruises.
It's no more than Nicki Minaj's music videos, honestly.
Okay, new allegation of abuse against Tate brothers. Porn star Requiem Lee.
Oh my.
Nina shows bruises from April 2018. Says Tristan Tate beat her with a belt. I'm assuming this was like not consensual, not like ugh.
No, she writes it in the post. If you click the first photo, she there's like an explanation.
Oh, these are photos. Oh dear. Okay, that is. It looks like she has a parasite. Okay. Let's go to the curious that Andrew Tate assaulted a woman with a belt, given the fact that he has that his brother Tristan also assaulted me with a belt. It was incredibly malicious, extremely hard, and left me with, oh my God, with nasty bruises. I didn't consent to being hit that way. But did she consent to being hit at all? I think it's tricky when you're cool with being hit even a little bit.
Right.
Because she's saying I didn't consent to being hit that way. It's like, oof, I feel like it's a slippery slope. If you're okay with a little bit of hitting, it's like I don't really go that way, but it's like not at all to justify what happened here. But like you can see if a guy is into hitting a chick and a girl's like, I'm okay with somewhat being hit. Like you can see how,
right?
Like you're okay with it being at a 4, and then the guy gets carried away and takes it to an 11.
But what does that say about the guy if he gets carried away and brings it to a 10? I mean, those are some pretty brutal bruises.
Oh my God.
Like that's like a bad mark.
It looks like somebody like traced their penis.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to bring levity. like he passed that at a party and someone traced their penis with a green Sharpie.
How many penises like that have you seen, Chrissy? This is distressing.
Girl,
honestly.
I lived every piece of my 20s.
Is there something that you want to tell us? Good grief.
I think I got hit. Honestly, I did get hit with a belt once at like a frat party, but I was passed out. It was nothing like this. I think it's just they were trying to be funny, and it was just like a couple times. But damn, this sucks. She said, genuinely one of the most painful things I've experienced. Having spent time with Tristan and Andrew can confirm they are both horrendously racist, sexist, and homophobic. Seeing Andrew rise in popularity has been triggering. And this was what, in 2018?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Jeepers.
And I get that she's using this like woke language and it makes it very off-putting, but that still doesn't justify his behavior. And that's kind of the problem I'm seeing is like he'll say one correct thing and then 10 really disturbing things, but then they're like, no, the first thing resonated, so it's fine. And then they justify it. And I just don't think that this is out of nowhere. Like there's a saying for this, like where there's like a person who attracts a lot of trouble, like there's bound to be trouble type of thing. Like, why is it that he has all these allegations? Like, it doesn't seem to me to be the case where it's like, oh, it's just the media or like someone trying to take him down because he's telling the truth. It really does seem like because he's an immoral person.
Yeah. I just don't know why they banned him. He barely posts. It's everyone else. He has like a pyramid scheme. They like get paid to post him. So it's not even him. He's still going to be everywhere.
Yeah, he runs MLMs. He's a scammer. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone, I've never seen him post. I never seen any of his social media. It's always just all over TikTok and shit. It's someone else. Like, I didn't even know he had anything until I seen that he was banned. I was like, wait, he has his own account? I have no clue.
Right.
Because it's everyone else. So they're still going to post his ass because they get money from that stupid Hustler University, which is the corniest shit I've ever heard. I'm like,
Hustler University? Isn't that where you got your degree, LeeAnn?
Yeah. It is so lame. Like, people bought it and like, it's the dumbest shit. I cannot believe people spend money on that shit, dude.
Well,
I think it's like med school. Is that his
so stupid?
Exactly. Like, this is what dads are for, dude. Like, how much of a good dad shortage do we have?
I know.
To where people are paying douchebags on the internet to teach them how to be a man.
His own Illuminati, and you have to pay like I think it's $5,000 a month. It's better than the Illuminati.
Gosh. You know what? You
$5,000 sounds familiar, doesn't it?
If this many guys need help being a man, get a panel
sounds
of
like
dads
guys that try
together.
to get dudes to be alpha.
Wait, is it really
sounds like Jack Murphy?
Do they get gym access? Like, what do they get for all that money?
I don't know.
Counseling. Vague counseling by someone more fucked up than them. I think that's generally it, Chrissy.
All right.
I mean, I feel that because like there was a time I was very wrapped up in like the self-help world, and like I paid to go to talks, and I paid for like not really classes, but like you know, you're like, oh, I'm really into like Gabby Bernstein or what was her name? Gala Darling. Like, you know, when you're like 23 and you're stupid and you're like, I need self-confidence, so I'm just gonna like go to these talks. And sometimes it does help, but like, yeah, if you start paying a lot of money, it can get to be a slippery slope.
I paid for when I was 20 years old, I paid for this like self-help thing, but it was how to get your ex back. Okay. It was this
I've seen those.
I paid for it, and I sent this fucker on Valentine's Day 2 bags of jerky. And I remember crying.
Was it Buc-ee's? Because they have very good jerky.
That would work for me. Send me some beef jerky.
Yeah, Melonie's carnivore crisps. Like that shit's not cheap. Like that's a good gift.
I made him this handwritten, like, beautiful card and 2 bags of big beef jerky, and he didn't send me anything. And I remember just like laying crying in bed, just like wishing he would have sent me flowers. And then he came to visit me, and he was like, I was thinking of sending you flowers, but I decided against it. And I was like, I bought a how to get your ex back thing, and I didn't even get him back.
And this class did it say anything about jerky, or that was your idea?
That was my idea. I don't think it was part of the class. I was like, beef jerky, now I'm gonna get a guy to like love me, you know?
And like the note said, quit jerkying me around. Look outside your window. And then you're like,
where's Lila's femininity course? I'll sign up for it.
Oh, I would too. Lila, you're an awesome wing woman.
Thanks, cat ladies.
Brewmaster Monk for 20 says, looking back, the early Manosphere was a psyop to destroy gender relations and destabilize the West. How many former PUAs? What's a PUA?
PUA, pickup artists.
Oh, of course. Pickup artists are now orthodox. Where would the far right be without first accepting the science behind sex differences? This is interesting.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting about it too is that a lot of conservatives, surprisingly, will support people like Andrew Tate, who are part of that manosphere. He's one running it at this point. But it's like, why are you supporting someone who, like, not only all the other stuff I already said about like the allegations and the criminal behavior, but and the dehumanizing women thing by like pimping out teen girls. Even that aside, like, he destabilizes nuclear families. Like, he's not promoting the family whatsoever. He's promoting for men to fuck a bunch of bitches and have no sort of healthy relationship with women. So why would conservatives promote that? It's very perplexing to me.
I don't know.
Because he promotes being a whore and it validates them. Like, that's not very conservative. So yeah, where there's smoke, there's fire, I think. But yeah, it ruins the gender relations. A lot of women don't like it. They don't like being dehumanized, and they'll be like, "Oh no, you're just mad because you're a woman." But it's like, no, there's genuine reasons. I think they're legit.
It sucks because there is a genuine need. Like, there are some grown men who don't have great relationship with their dads, or they didn't grow up with a dad, or their dad was abusive, and they really do need a strong, good male influence, or even just networking, or even just like other guys to be friends with.
Right.
And it just sucks that like someone will kind of come up, and is it just naturally this thing that's inevitable? Like, the more power you have, the more likely you are to be corrupted, or, you know, just like ultimately it's going to sour you. And it's got to be frustrating for these guys that like they want to better themselves. They believed in a Jack Murphy. They maybe, you know, at a time believed in an Andrew Tate, and they're like, fuck, like they just get sort of disillusioned because, you know, I'm not going to knock like, oh, you shouldn't have to pay anybody for anything, because sometimes it does help to have some guidance and for networking, and it helps you meet other guy friends. And some guys just never had that in their lives.
But you know what the difference is? Like, there are men that they could look up to do it. For example, I think Jordan Peterson was pretty good. He was pretty well-rounded, pretty reasonable, and he doesn't just pull things out of his ass. He has statistics to back it up. He has credentials. He's a psychiatrist or a psychologist. What is Andrew Tate? Like a kickboxer? What does that have to do with anything? He never provides sources. These people are not qualified, and they don't even give good advice. They can't even hold healthy relationships themselves, if you ever take notice of it. And I think everyone here is right about the dad thing, and having needing a good dad, and that's kind of why we're in this situation. It's like the fall
Andrew
of
Tate looks like the guy at the party who would brag about being able to do penis kegels. He'd be like, watch this, and throw like a towel over it, and he'd be like, like, he looks like that guy. Matthew Perkins for 5. Andrew Tate is like a real life version of Dick Masterson's character from Dr. Phil. I haven't seen that. Okay. E. Hufflefinger for 10. As a firefighter. Hello. Let me see your hose. Those bruises look like what I've gotten from things like rope burn or pressurized hose being thrown against me. Damn. Wonder if Andrew Tate has a pressurized hose.
I like to call him Andrew Tate. I think that's fine. We were calling him that before it was trending, and then it caught on.
Mahendra fan for 20. The super seducer guy is also a Brit living in Romania. That's a little sus.
It's interesting. It's like all the criminals flock there because of the laws and being able to abuse it.
I think what's really sad about this conversation is that, like, in my early days of working in the men's rights space, what I noticed is that there's a lot of like genuinely good guys out there that just lack purpose and direction. And I think that's generally because society has sort of taken away many of the things that were male exclusive that really gave them purpose and direction. And then it
like
leaves
the Boy Scouts. They fucked that up.
Yeah, then now all the girls are in the Boy Scouts and we're not quite sure what gender anybody is. But it's like, it's quite sad because without direction, some of these men obviously flounder, but it also leaves a gaping hole for bad faith actors to step in. And I think we've all had enough run-ins with some of them. And it's sometimes not a very pleasant experience. And it makes me sad because they promote these, in my opinion, pretty corrosive ideas, particularly about women. And then you have this legion of men articulating those viewpoints back rather than reaching out across the aisle and going, hey, like, let's all work together to, you know, better everything and fight the feminist horde or whatever the case is. And so these Andrew Tate types really piss me off because I'm like, you are the exact thing that you would hate on the other side of the aisle.
Yep.
They're just the biggest hypocrites. Yeah, exactly. Yep, they're two sides of the same coin. It frustrates the shit out of me because otherwise nice men, they fall in with these groups and then they go, oh, in order to be the man that I need to be, I have to be this certain archetype that no woman would ever respect. And yet they all continue on with it. And then when women reject them, they go, see, look, it's because the women are terrible and horrible. And the rest of us just sit here and go, what planet are you on? Like, what is happening? Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Toxic femininity exists. Toxic masculinity exists. It's like they're very much on the fringe, and it sucks because as like I am a woman who does like a strong man, and there are sometimes I like a guy to lead, so I am like a classic female in that way, but it's like there can be too much of that. It's like, yes, a guy can be strong and lead and make decisions and like be confident, and like, not that I never want to see you cry, but like, okay, if you could be more calm than me, that would be nice. But that doesn't mean like you can walk all over me. It's like there is a point where you're like, okay, it's enough already. It's like that doesn't mean you can like hit me with a Swiffer whenever you want, and like, you know, that I'm gonna fucking treat me like an idiot, like I'm a second-class citizen. It's fun to like make jokes about that, but like it seems like this guy genuinely thinks women are like a lesser class of people.
Yeah, and it really sucks that when you criticize these people like Andrew Tate, that you're seen as like, you're part of the gay anti-man agenda. And it's like, no, have some like discernment here. That doesn't mean, like if I criticize this person, therefore I'm a feminazi. Like that's not it at all.